Are you dead tired? Well, I've got good news for you. Resting comfortably above ground is so last year. You need a nice cozy stay at the 6 feet under inn. Our roomy caskets are lined with only the most plush lining, stuffed with goose feathers, so you can rest with the goose that died making it. All part of the experience. Every casket comes equipped with an entertainment center, a 5-inch screen that gets every channel you could possibly want, local news, and C-SPAN. Not only that, but your entertainment package includes access to Paragon The Overprime. Can't quite sleep? Load up Paragon The Overprime and spend 45 minutes doing absolutely nothing because nobody plays the game and nothing means anything anymore. Since the servers will probably be shut down in under a year, this is a limited time offer. This is a game so nice, it managed to die twice. So you make sure and tell your hearse driver, "Take me to the 6 feet under inn." And don't worry if you don't wake up. I'll have a shovel ready. to knock on the casket, of course, not to bury you alive. Hey, do you remember that game that Epic made before Fortnite? No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, no. That one. See, Paragon The Overprime is a couple of things. For one, it's a game with a terrible subtitle. The Overprime? These nuts? What? Excuse me? Terrible name. It's also a MOBA. A really plain... It's also a plain MOBA, a very, very plain old MOBA with zero defining characteristics unless you like royalty-free versions of characters that are much cooler. It's also not really Paragon anymore. You see, Epic released the assets for Paragon a long time ago, and originally NetMarble was going to make their own game, and then Epic just said, you could just make Paragon again. And they sold the rights to the trademark and everything to NetMarble. So NetMarble got to make their own Paragon. Fortunately, they forgot to add the fun. NetMarble was finally able to fulfill their dream of making a game that's worse than the game before when it came. Am I getting my point across here? See, the original Paragon had a deck building system. So at the beginning of the match, you would pick a deck that you built ahead of time, and as you leveled up and got experience and gold and stuff, you would acquire the cards from that deck, one card at a time, slowly powering yourself up over the course of the match. It was a unique way to do the tried and true item system that most MOBAs have, where you spawn in your base, pick some items to buy, you go out, get some kills, you die, you come back, you buy some more stuff. Similar system to that, but different enough to call it its own. The game currently incorporates the plain item system that I just mentioned, very similar to games like Smite, where you go back to your base after you die, or you can teleport back to your base with some money, buy some items, and you slowly build your character over the course of the match with said items. From what I understand from posts I read on Reddit and the like, the card system was deeply flawed, and there were some very meta decks that people would build, and everyone was just kind of like doing the same thing. Like everybody knew what was best, so they just all did the same thing, and it got boring really quickly. So sounds like the card idea, good idea, not great execution. Problem is, when you take away Paragon's card system, it's just a MOBA. Like, there's not a whole lot of extra stuff to it. There's not really any verticality or anything. It's a third-person game instead of top-down, so you'd think they would make use of all that extra space. But it really doesn't. None of the characters do anything special that really utilizes that extra headroom you've got in a third-person game. Now, Paragon The Overprime is a bit faster paced than a lot of games that are also in the MOBA genre, sure, but does turning up the speed necessarily make it a super unique and awesome game? No. Here's the thing, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that this game was not going to do well the second time around. Maybe the first time it had that epic charm and it had a chance, right? Because it was coming out at a time when the MOBA competition was not quite as severe as it is now. Now you're releasing this game that's basically just like crappy Smite. I mean, what did they think was gonna happen? Well, we'll get to that. Paragon is a decent MOBA. All things considered, there's a lot of different types of characters. Their abilities range greatly, though they can do many different things, and I'm sure there's a lot of build potential, but nobody cares, and everybody stopped playing. Again. See, the thing is, you have to be able to market a game like this. If you're making a MOBA, you're making an MMO, one of these games that really relies on the player base being massive and, well, existing in the first place, so that you can have tournaments and, people can debate over, what's better, this character, this build or that build. There needs to be people playing for the game to remain interesting. If no one's playing, it's not interesting. Like the characters, for example, right? They don't even seem like they all come from the same game. They don't feel like when you tell me, oh, Paragon, I can't picture one single art style in my head because so many of these characters just look like blah, whatever, just random character. I mean, why is Grim Reaper guy, furry with a mech suit, and Dante from Devil May Fart in the same game, in the same battlefield, in the same world together? Why are these characters all in this world together? I need to be able to believe that. Every successful hero shooter and MOBA have very clearly defined aesthetics, art styles, and characters. They all go together. Sure, Ash has the badass, southern girl, cowgirl thing going on here, country western, I get it. Zenyatta is a floating metal monk. Do these two things seem like they should be in the same world together? No, and yet, thanks to the art style and the characterization of them, they do go together.
Who'd have thought?
I don't get that from Paragon. It doesn't have that magic where it ties these things together and I go, oh, okay, makes sense, I get it. Take Smite. I mean, Smite, yeah, sure, that's a bog standard, a very basic MOBA. It's like, Smite is like the skeleton of every other MOBA, and yet it does very well because it has a cool aesthetic and a great idea with all the different gods from all the different mythologies. That's a great idea because everybody knows those characters. Like, people are so fascinated with Greek mythology and Asgardian mythology and all different kinds of stuff. It's really cool. It's a good idea. Smite might not be the most exciting, fresh idea ever, but it makes it work. Paragon just refuses to be cool. It's like it can't be cool. It doesn't know how to be. It does not help that it came out around the same exact time as another game, Predecessor, which is a MOBA using Paragon assets. So you've basically got two worse versions of Paragon coming out at the same time, jockeying for position of who's gonna take the fan base. And that game is actually doing a little bit better than Paragon The Overprime right now. It had a much smaller player peak at just 7,000 players, but it regularly holds on to about 1,300 players a day. Paragon The Overprime, on the other hand, did have a peak of 32,000, but it can barely scratch 1,000 players a day now. The game is also on the Epic Store, but let's be real, homie. If there's 1,000 people playing it on Steam, there are less than 1,000 people playing it on the Epic Store. No way the Epic Store has more Paragon The Overprime players than Steam does. I refuse to believe that. In the first 2 weeks that it was out, it lost 80% of its player base, which was about 25,000 players. It means that all those people were excited for Paragon to come back, and it finally came back, and they played it, and they were like, oh, this isn't Paragon. Uninstall. And that's it. That's the story of Paragon The Overprime. The game is in its death throes, okay? The chances of this game coming back in any sense of that phrase are 0 to nil. Like less than 1% chance. From the moment of its rebirth, it's pretty crystal clear that this game is just a cash grab and NetMarble is trying to you know, wring the last drops of money out of the Paragon fan base before they chuck it in the bin. That's just my opinion and not actual fact, but, you know, that's how I feel about it. Paragon fans simply deserve better than this. I fully predict that this game will be shut down in a year to a year and a half, like servers offline, like you won't be able to play this anymore. I'm almost positive. I changed to every individual server that was available in the game because there is a lobby search function. You can look for private lobbies to play in. 2 servers had 1 game in them, and the rest were all completely empty. That's how dead it is. Nobody even wants to play custom games. The people that are playing this are basically just like all in quick play and nothing else. Epic dropped Paragon when it figured out how much money it could make on Fortnite. And I don't really blame them, because there's a lot of money to be made with Fortnite. Obviously, I think it would have been better if Paragon just stayed dead, because what's happening to it right now, it's like desecrating the corpse. This is the first game on this series that has actually died twice. Unfortunately, I wasn't making these videos when it was around the first time. In fact, I didn't even have a rig that could have run the game. I think back then I was still rocking a 2012 MacBook, so I don't even think I could have played it. But it's very interesting to see this happen. This is a new phenomenon to me, a game dying twice, literally. It is very disappointing to see the corpse of Paragon propped up, duct taped back together, and pumped full of microtransactions just to get that last little bit out of you suckers, you Paragon fans, you suckers, you gave them your money. What are you, dumb? Again, all this is just my opinion. I'm not actually saying that NetMarble did any of these things or that their intent was, you know, truly this sadistic. It's just how I feel. It's how I'm reading it personally. Just my thoughts and opinions. Now, I would be interested if any of you guys were fans of the original game or even just fans of this, what your feelings are on it, you know, on the IP, and if it's being mistreated here. Maybe that's just me being a little too defensive over it. I don't know, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to think about it too. Thank you guys so much for watching, if indeed you have made it this far. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that you never miss another video, short, or live stream from yours truly. Make sure you check out my other series, Wide Open Worlds, that I just started a few weeks ago. I've already got 2 videos up about that. One is about Forspoken, and one is about Sunset Overdrive, and I'm working on another one right now for Just Cause 3, so make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss that. We also reached our donation goal on stream, and the donation goal reward was for me to beat the Dead Space remake on hard using only the plasma cutter blind playthrough. I've not played the remake yet, and I'm going through it for the first time now. I've already done 2 streams of it so far. It's been a great time. I'm actually stuck on a particular room right now because I keep running out of ammo and I can't use any other guns. That's fun. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and those are subject to change depending on what's going on that day. I'd also like to take a moment here to thank my YouTube members, aka the Reset Gang. For $2.99 a month, you get some emotes you can use in chat and the good old warm feeling that you are supporting me through money. And you get a shout out at the end of all my major videos. So without further ado, here is the Reset Gang. Ray OK, Marut, Blue Hornet 632, Agent Lion, Papa Salvo, Foos Romanda, my lovely girlfriend Taylor, Hotspur, I Like Juice, Don Hunts, Nick. That's it. And make sure you stay tuned for the next video where I crawl up my own butt and poop myself out. See ya.